Hello again. This is video number 2. I heard on the radio this morning they were talking about police carrying guns and police carrying tasers and things like that. Now, what they're saying is, and I only caught a bit of it, but it just set me thinking. It's a big old debate, isn't it? It set me thinking. They're talking about knife crime in London. They're talking about people getting more violent. They're talking about the way society is going and that attacks on police are up. And in America, of course, and in other places in the world, they have guns, the police. They carry tasers, they carry, I think they all carry nightsticks or truncheons, as we call them over here. You know, to help them defend themselves. And they need defending because they're going into some scary positions a lot of the time, aren't they? But yeah, the conversation was going on about arming the police. And that really is a debate for another day. And for somebody else, I think. Not without its problems, obviously. Not without its costs. We've all seen a lot of the police officers these days, whether they're capable of handling guns, whether many of them have the temperament to carry guns, I'm not sure. But this is what led me on to it anyway. They were talking about that this morning, but what I want to talk about is something slightly different. Now, I've just been on holiday a couple of weeks back. We went to Cyprus in the family, had a lovely time, and I was on one of the local, one of the resort Facebook groups, just chatting away to somebody. Well, chatting away to various people like you do, asking questions about the resort, where you can get the best steak, that kind of thing. Oh, it's gone really dark here. Let's have a look at this. Right, I've discovered if you turn away from the sun, you go into the dark. And right now the sun's shining on my face while I'm walking this direction, so I'm going to keep walking. So yeah, we've been to Cyprus. I was chatting on one of the groups where you ask questions about where the best steak is, what sort of entertainment's on, what's the best way to do this, what's the best boat trip, that kind of thing. And I made a comment about, basically there was like a Cypriot holiday at the middle of August where lots of Cypriots have the week off and they come and they stay in the resort themselves, so it gets quite busy. So you get lots of flash cars and big motorbikes around the place for whatever reason. People showing off a little bit. And I'd mentioned something about, I know they've got big bikes and big cars and stuff like that, but do they really have to rev it at 4 o'clock in the morning as if they're taking off into space? But one of the locals kind of took offence to that, and I mean, bearing in mind, our hotel was on a one-way street. As we look out from the front of the hotel, it goes from left to right. It's become a one-way street for a reason, because of the amount of traffic and the amount of pedestrians down there. But she took offence at that, and she started saying, you can't come here and tell the locals what to do with themselves. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I don't want them to ride motorbikes at 80 miles an hour the wrong way down a one-way street at 4 o'clock in the morning when people are walking home from the boozer. It's not an unreasonable request, is it? But she took real offence at this, and she went on the defensive a little bit. A few comments were exchanged and said, oh yeah, I've got out of the UK. My kids are going to be safe here, there's no knife crime or anything else. And I'm thinking, I've worked in London and I know there's knife crime there. I've never worried about working or walking down the street personally. Maybe I'm in the wrong streets. Anyway, the whole point of this is she's got views about England and knife crime and how it's dangerous and stuff like that. And just to skip forward a little bit, The next day, I took my daughter down to one of the local gift shops. You're looking at packs of cards and inflatables and t-shirts and sunglasses, that kind of thing. And on one of the shelves, she was looking at playing cards, and I looked at the shelf below it. Can you guess what was on the shelf below it? About probably this height, probably my waist height. I'm 6'3", but can you guess what was on the shelf below a set of kids playing cards? Go on, have a go. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I put a picture up just up here just now. Hopefully you can see it. Take a little look. I'll try and zoom in on it and find the best angle. But basically, on the shelf below the playing cards, they had machetes, big sharp knives, flick knives, throwing stars. If you're a Bruce Lee fan, you know what a throwing star is. Nunchucks, which are them two-handle things with a chain. They basically had a load of knives and martial arts kind of stuff at waist height in a gift shop. Now, these knives were sharp. Some were in sheaths, some weren't. Who puts knives out like that? And it got me thinking that maybe there's not the right kind of maybe there's not the wrong kind of people over there that are going to pick up a knife and do something bad with it. Which leads to the question of, what's the real danger? Is it the actual knife or the weapon, or is it the person who's wielding it? And I think we know the answer to that one, don't we? It's down to whoever's holding it. Anybody holding a knife or a fork or a spoon or whatever can do some damage with it, or a baseball bat. But in the right hands, it's an inanimate object. But in the wrong hands, it's a dangerous weapon. But take away the point that these things were in reach of kids, just browsing through. Now, kids are inquisitive. They shouldn't really have knives and stuff like that, should they? On shelves at waist height for kids just to pick up. They weren't in a cabinet, a glass cabinet or anything like that. They were just there on display. I picked one up and took a picture of the machete. They shouldn't be there, but the point is, these things are available, and they're available in a gift shop over in Cyprus and many other places. I've seen them do it in Tenerife in the past, many years ago. Big machetes, like 2-3 foot long machetes. The kind of ceremonial thing you'll put above a fireplace. But where's the problem? Is it the people? Let me see if it's dark that way. I think it is the people. It is the people that are holding these things. That is where the real problem is, and the problem with the country at the minute is it's going down a bit of a rocky road, isn't it? But do we harm the police? If people are, I mean, you can't get all the things like that in the UK, can you? You can't walk up into, I wouldn't even know where to go and buy a samurai sword in the UK. I don't know, Temu, Amazon, probably get it on there, wouldn't you? But you won't get one in a shop, not even, probably a specialist shop, that kind of thing. But this is why they don't sell them, because there's probably more people over here that would get their hands on them and do some damage with it. I think that's the point. And that's our problem. Dangerous things in the wrong hands are dangerous things. Dangerous things in the right hands aren't dangerous at all. Now, do we need to harm the police? I'm not sure. But they're getting up, the kind of people that they're meeting. Ooh, the kind of people that the police are coming across are the dangerous people. And they've got hold of knives. You know, school kids have knives, don't we, in some places. But they've got hold of stuff like that. They've got hold of weapons. So it's probably only fair that the police are able to protect themselves. I wouldn't like to go up against somebody carrying a knife, would you? Or a baseball bat. But I think there's your answer. You've got to, not to use the word trump in the wrong context, but you've got to trump whoever your opponent is. If they've got a stick that reaches 12 inches, you need to be holding a stick that reaches 3 foot, 36 inches, so you can whack them and you can defend yourself. But guns, knives, you can't go giving police knives. It's no way to defend yourself, and somebody would obviously get hurt. With a gun, it kind of ends the argument in a lot of times, doesn't it? In a lot of cases. So the whole point is it's going to be a prevention. If you're pulling a knife out on a policeman and he pulls a gun out, you're going to back down, aren't you? End of problem. And in trained hands and in responsible hands, the police should maybe be carrying guns, and certainly tasers as well, so they can incapacitate the crazies. But I think they should. I think they should be allowed to carry guns. I don't go to work and have to worry about getting hurt. The police shouldn't have to go to work and worry about getting hurt either. I earn more than most police officers in my job, and I don't have any sort of concerns or worries. Why should they? But if they choose to do that job, and it is a vocation, it's like nursing, it's like doctors, it's like that kind of thing. Teachers, people do the job because they want to change the world, don't they? But I think they should be allowed to carry guns, and the sooner the better, because somebody's got to put a stop to all this nastiness in the world. Whether guns are the answer, I don't know. But the problem is, the knives are already out there. People are already getting stabbed. People are already hurting people. And they need to have something to protect themselves with. So safety first, in my mind. Anyway, just my little thoughts. Another practice. Also remember, there's a lot of electric bikes around as well these days, isn't there? Never heard them too. Never heard them. Same with cars, but that's a story for another day. But for now, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.